It is 2 in the morning, and I'm just gonna put this video up today because I think the story's kind of funny. My Pillow CEO Mike Lindell's Twitter account has been restored after almost 2 years of being permanently suspended over his unfounded claims of widespread voter fraud in the 2020 presidential election. I'm back. Thank you at Elon Musk. And by the way, melt down the electronic voting machines and turn them into prison bars. Lindell tweeted on Friday. If I was home alone, I would scream that. By the way, Lindell's account was suspended in January 2021 following repeated violations of Twitter's civic integrity policy under the company's former leadership. Lindell has been a staunch supporter of former President Trump and backed his false claims that the 2020 election was stolen from him. Lindell is the most recent in a line of several notable public figures whose accounts have been unfrozen since Elon Musk took over Twitter in late October. Musk also ended the suspensions of Trump's account and that of Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, whose access was frozen over her repeated violations of the platform's COVID-19 misinformation policy. Trump, whose account was banned in the aftermath of the January 6, 2021 insurrection, has said he does not plan to return to Twitter. Musk has emphasized free speech on the platform, but he has faced widespread backlash in the past 2 days over his suspension of certain journalists' accounts. Musk claimed they were doxing him and revealing a specific location, which he said amounts to assassination coordinates. Journalists have said they were covering Twitter's suspension on Wednesday of an account that tracked location of Musk's private jet using publicly available information. Musk restored the journalist accounts early Saturday morning after a poll. After majority in the poll he posted said the suspension should be lifted. Arizona Republican gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake, who has also backed Trump's false claims of voter fraud in the 2020 election, praised Lindell's return, tweeting, "Greatest tweet ever. Welcome back. We missed you." So I did a separate story covering the whole, um, Musk getting rid of the Twitter accounts. I said that, I don't agree with putting out his information, but I think that was a cover, like a lie, to just get rid of those people because he has shown no proof that they actually had his location. They were just using information that's publicly available to pinpoint a jet. So I think that was just him trying to get back at people that were criticizing him. But Lindell's so interesting because you have a person who spreads misinformation, um, and they get gotten rid of, and it looks like that's it. They're done. They're never going to be on this website again. And then, by virtue of there being new leadership, he's restored and he doubles down on his BS. Um, what's kind of funny is that a lot of times when you hear the argument for free speech on these websites, we talk about how, you know, there are some people that make their living on here. Like, for example, places like the Young Turks and Secular Talk, those guys, right? They would be in real trouble if, well, I don't know about the Young Turks anymore because that Jeffrey Katzenberg donation, but generally speaking, they derive a lot of their wealth from being online, and if you get rid of them on these different sites, that can really hurt them. Lindell, as the My Pillow CEO, as far as I can tell, is not hurt by not being on Twitter. He was appearing on TV for a while, and was getting his message out in that alternate manner. Um, and what I'm getting at here is, it's so weird to have a guy who seems to pretty much be completely fine or well off without being on Twitter, like how Trump is, come back and be like, "Yes, thank you very much. I have returned." Like, you don't need Twitter. All of these CEOs and company owners, he could go over to Truth Social with Trump and probably derive more attention from being one of his staunch supporters, using his website and bringing more people over there, than going back to Twitter after it threw him out like a piece of garbage 2 years ago, and trying to act like it's this great amazing site now that they unsuspended his account. So Lindell's just a really bizarre character. Like, I don't quite understand the obsession with being on Twitter. I had my account suspended 3 years ago, and since then I have not put out a single tweet. Um, I go on there to read what other people are writing, but as far as like actually engaging in a back and forth and dialogue, I can't. I just can't be bothered. And there is something to be said about a person who gets in trouble for breaking the rules of a site being able to then come back on the site and continue breaking the same rules. Because unlike with my suspension, where they, just said vaguely you violate the Twitter rules, a lot of these different celebrities that get banned on these sites are told, "Hey, we don't want you doing this. We didn't like that you wrote this tweet." They don't completely. They. It's so funny how like people who, by virtue of how famous they are, have special privileges, are able to get those of us that are not famous to like empathize and like link up with them. Like, yeah, you're me, when you're actually not. That's why Twitter explains to you why they're getting rid of you. Whereas with someone like myself, they can just toss you out and not even give any kind of reason for it. But it's like you have a guy that is gotten rid of for this misinformation stuff, and then he goes right back and starts doubling down on it the second he returns. So is this just going to be the fate of every website, that once it gets a new person in ownership of it who wants to make some changes, you can just expect anyone who was banned previously to be like, "May oh, now it looks like I have a chance of returning." I don't know it. And then it's like, isn't there something sad about the fact that this man was off of Twitter for 2 years and felt like he needed it so badly that the second they unsuspended his account, he just swoons back. Like, as much as I have my problems with Trump, at least after he got suspended, that was pretty much it. Like, he was just he's done. He's not tweeting anything. He's not posting anything. He's got the option to, but he moved on. He made his own website, a pretty lousy one at that, from what I hear. But I don't know. It just seems so counterintuitive to have people who get banned for breaking a rule on a site get reinstated just so they can break the rule again, except this time with no consequence. But I guess that's the true desire of a lot of people with free speech. They want to be able to say whatever they want, and then not have any consequence for their actions and the things that can happen based off of the statements that they make.